So it's time to make our official video on Phase 6 investments. In this video we'll cover which items you can invest in now to make profit in Phase 6, and there's tons of profit to be made here, so buckle up and get ready for the show. There are tons of items you should definitely sell in Phase 6 if you haven't already, and there are tons of items where you can make heaps of profit, and I bet there's even items in this video that you had no idea were used at the capacity they actually are or will be in Phase 6. Before I actually start listing those items, I just want to say that this information has been available on my Patreon for a long time, as I do have a Patreon where I give out early access to gold farms, investments, and gold making strategies. So if you want to get early access to future gold making information, you can check out my Patreon, which you can find a link to in the description down below. For only €3 a month you'll get access to all of the gold farms, most of the investments and strategies, and also access to a Patreon specific gold making community on Discord. I do also have the VIP level on Patreon, where I'll mention your name in the credits at the end of each video, as well as VIPs getting access to all of the investments, flipping strategies, and gold farms the second I find out about them. With that little sellout out of the way, I think it's about time I show you what I have been investing in lately that I plan on selling in Phase 6. First off, we have to look at what's actually coming in Phase 6, which is obviously Naxxramas. And with Naxxramas we have new and insane tier set, and the funny thing is that the gear itself doesn't actually drop from Naxxramas, but the tokens do. You then deliver those tokens along with some materials to a NPC and you get your item, and this is where investors like you and me can make very decent gold. You see, many of the items needed at the turn-in of those tokens is tradable items you can buy right now, aka items that are already in the game, and with the help of Wowhead we can find out exactly what items are needed to turn in exactly what item. And if you want a closer look at the Wowhead guides I use in this video, I'll leave a link to every single one under resources in the description down below. Now there are a lot of items and a lot of different materials required when turning in these tokens, but the basics is this: Arcanite bars for plate wearers, cured rugged hide for leather, mooncloth for cloth, and Arcanite plus cured rugged hide for mail. That is basically the items you'll want to invest in, but because I like to keep these videos as informative as possible, I'm gonna list exactly which materials you need for each class, so you need what to obtain for your main as well as what to invest in, based on which class you think is most popular, so here we go. For mages you want the Frostfire set, which requires 3 arcane crystals, 21 mooncloth, 8 nexus crystals, and 6 cured rugged hides. As a warrior for the Dreadnought set you need 20 Arcanite bars, 4 Nexus crystals, and 19 cured rugged hides. As a hunter for the Cryptstalker set you need 17 Arcanite bars, 8 Nexus crystals, and 18 cured rugged hides. For priests, when you obtain the Vestments of Faith, you need 3 arcane crystals, 21 mooncloth, 8 nexus crystals, and 6 cured rugged hides. For rogues, to obtain the Bone Scythe set, you need 5 arcanite bars, 42 cured rugged hides, and 5 nexus crystals. For warlocks, the Plague Heart set requires 21 mooncloth, 3 arcanite crystals, 8 nexus crystals, and 6 cured rugged hides. For paladins, the Redemption set requires 20 arcanite bars, 15 cured rugged hides, and 7 nexus crystals. For shamans, the Earth Shatter set requires 17 arcanite bars, 15 cured rugged hides, and 8 nexus crystals. Additionally, each set requires 106 war-torn armor scraps. As you can see, it's all the same materials in different quantities. The funny thing is that mages, priests, and warlocks use the exact same materials and the exact same quantities, so those will probably be in high demand if you ask me. The items to invest in here are therefore obviously Nexus crystals, arcane crystals, arcanite bars, mooncloth, and cured rugged hides. Many of these have cooldowns on their craft, so there's possibilities of making some great passive gold here as well. For example, I am currently skilling up tailoring on pretty much all of my alts above level 35 or close to level 35, so I can start crafting mooncloth on cooldown, as well as utilizing my alchemist to make arcanite bars. All of these materials, maybe except mooncloth, will go up in price from now to Phase 6, but mooncloth might be at a steady high because it's used in the Bloodwine set, which comes in Phase 4, which is best in slot until Naxxramas, and then it's used to obtain set pieces in Naxx as well, so mooncloth CADs will be in high demand from now until the end of Classic if you ask me, which is why I'm setting up 3 to 5 tailors just to craft this. Next up we have consumables required, or consumables you might want inside the Naxxramas raid. I will pull up a screenshot of a Reddit comment from a Fury warrior with all of the consumables he used inside this raid. This many consumables is obviously not required, but it shows what it takes to actually be top DPS, or to actually put in the maximum effort, which some players obviously will do, and that's where investors like us can make gold. You can find a link to the entire Reddit conversation in the description down below under resources. But if we take a look at the bare minimum of consumables that are required inside Naxxramas, we're looking at greater fire protection potions for Fairlena, and the 4 horsemen, greater arcane protection potions for Gothic the Harvester, greater frost protection potions for Saphiron and Kel'Thuzad, greater nature protection potions for Maxna, Globulus, Thaddeus, Hagen and Loatheb, and greater shadow protection potions for Loatheb, 4 horsemen and Saphiron. On top of all of this, you want 2 normal nature protection potions for the same encounters where you need the greater ones, and you want ice deflectors for Saphiron and Kel'Thuzad, 3 action potions, limited invulnerability potions just in case you pull aggro, especially if you're looking to top DPS and rank those DPS meters. And on top of all of this, you also have stat food, which is pretty much required for everyone, and elixirs or flasks, which is also required by everyone. Some hardcore guilds will probably make flasks mandatory, while other guilds will opt to only use flasks for tanks, and maybe a couple of DPSers, but mainly using elixirs. You also have weapon oils, Juju Power and Juju Might, healing potions, mana potions, mighty rage potions for warriors, and thistle tea for rogues. So as you can see, it's basically every single consumable that can be used inside a raid, and you'll actually want to have most of these so you can be as helpful as possible to your raid team. This is by far the biggest raid in terms of consumables, and even though many raiders have stocked up on many of these items for a long time now, there's simply not enough bag space or bank space to actually raid log until TBC, unless you have liquid gold as well. Meaning pretty much all of the raiders out there will need to buy some of these consumables at some point, and many raiders or PvPers don't actually have that much gold compared to investors with 50 to 100,000 gold. Many raiders are not even prepared for Naxxramas at all, and that's where we can make even more gold because, well, they will be panic buying everything they need, and they'll use their mages to make gold fast and spend that gold equally fast. So I guess we'll quickly cover the materials used in the main consumables here, so here we go. Greater fire protection potions require 1 elemental fire and 1 dream foil per potion. Greater arcane protection potions require 1 dream dust and 1 dream foil per potion. Greater frost protection potions require 1 elemental water and 1 dream foil per potion. Greater nature protection potions require 1 elemental earth and 1 dream foil per potion. Normal nature protection potions require 1 life root and 1 strangle kelp per potion. Additionally, I believe frost deflectors will become somewhat huge on Saphiron as mentioned earlier in this video, and crafting those will require 2 Winter's Bite and 4 Khadgar's Whispers, as well as some bronze bars. At this point, Khadgar's Whispers is as common as grey items, but Winter's Bite and bronze bars could see a potential uptrend in value. Obviously, Phase 6 is also pretty much the last phase of Classic, so you kinda wanna try to sell everything you have at this point, unless you plan to relive the Classic raids by staying in Classic, if that's even an option when TBC arrives. But if you want to continue into TBC, I will upload a video in the near future about TBC investments, because there are certain items that you might want to sell in Phase 6, or maybe sell early in Phase 6 and repurchase later in Phase 6 to sell in TBC and so on. But for now I think this is pretty much it for Phase 6. There's also obviously flasks and Black Lotus, but that is so obvious that I didn't feel the need to cover it, but in case you have enough gold and you didn't know already, buy flasks and buy Black Lotus. If you have any other investments for Phase 6 you'd like to share with us, leave a comment down below or message me on Discord. I'd love to hear if you guys are investing in some items that I didn't cover in this video. Once again, I give out all gold making advice on Patreon early, so most of this information has already been up there for months. And if you want to take advantage of TBC investments before I make public videos on them, Patreon is the place to be. I do also publish some gold farms and investments info over there that I do not cover in my videos as well, because it's always nice to have a couple of gold making strategies that aren't available to the public. A massive thanks to all of my patrons who allow me to spend a lot more of my energy on finding gold farms and gold making strategies and making content. You guys are absolute legends. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully it helps you make tons of gold in Phase 6. That is it for now, I'll see you next time.